if you are not sure of how far forward or how far back you should drag your cleats, I would say it's always safer to. So when we talk about our feet, mainly what we will be adjusting is the cleat position. So this cleat position, it will determine how our foot sit whenever we clip into the pedal. Some of us, maybe kaki kita naturally, it will just tend to point out a little bit. Some of us, we are neutral, so we are pointing straight, and then some of us automatically point in. So first thing first, kita akan set cleat position, right? So for a road shoe, typically we will see a 3-bolt mounting system, and it will be the same regardless of whether you pakai Shimano ke, Loop ke, kita just mount directly on top of the shoe. So first thing first, what we're gonna set up is the fore and the aft of the shoe. So this will determine how far forward or how far back the shoe sits on the pedal. Now, rule of thumb is the ball of our foot to sit directly above the pedal axle. So where the shoe, the ball of my foot is over here. So I will put a marking like this, a black dot like that over here. And what I will do is that I will line that black dot the center of the cleat. For Shimano cleats, the pedal axle will sit over here, alright? The pedal axle will sit here. So what we need to do is that we need to line the ball of our foot, the center of the cleat. So this is how we line up the fore and aft position of the cleat. Now, if you are not sure of how far forward or how far back you should drag your cleats, I would say it's always safer to go all the way back, because you will not go wrong by dragging your cleats all the way back. Kalau kita push all the way too far forward, what we risk is that we might risk pedaling too much with our toe. And if you pedal too much with your toe, dia akan jadilah pressure build out around the toe area. So if you're unsure, just drag your cleats all the way back. We can slowly push it forward. So once kita dah set up fore and aft, what we're gonna set up next is the Q factor, right? So this akan determine how far outwards the shoe sits or how far inwards the shoe sit. So for this one, I like to have my shoe sitting a bit outwards compared to too far inwards. So when my shoe sits outside a bit, it provides more stability for me to push down on, and it is also something that I find the most comfortable. When we are looking at the shoe like this is the outside, this is the inside. So in order to move your shoe outwards, kita akan tolak cleat tu, tolak towards the inside of the shoe. So this will move the shoe outside. You want to push the shoe into the frame, into the cranks, right? So you push the cleats towards the outside of shoe. Then that will move the cleat inside. Last thing yang kita nak set up is the angle of the shoe. Sebab every individual is different. Like some people point out, point in, neutral. So we need to set that according to naturally how our foot sits. So in order to account for that tilt in my foot, right? For me, if I want to point my toe outwards, what I need to do is that I need to twist the cleat into the shoe. So ke atas ini dia akan bergerak ke the inside of the shoe, right? This means that the heel will be dropping in lah, and then kita punya toe akan point out. So that is for pointing out. But for any of you out there who have toes that are pointing in, you want the toes to point in and the heels to go out, right? What you need to do is you have to twist the cleat outward. So the top part here is pointing towards the outside of the shoe. The inside part of the cleat is moving up, right? When you twist your cleats like this, dia akan pull the heel out and your toes will be pointing in. So ingat tau, because this is the right shoe, left and right shoe is different, right? We cannot go by clockwise or anti-clockwise sebab dia berlainan. We have to use this landmark in order to know how to twist our cleat in and out. Alright, so once we have found the position that we desired, tighten the cleats to about 5 Newton meter. So how tight is 5 Newton meter? About 4 fingers tight, right? Double check on all 3 of the bolts, make sure it is 4 fingers tight. So once you have done it on the shoe, repeat on the other. And in order to check whether or not both sides are set up equally, if your shoe has marking, you can use the marking as a rough guide whether or not the fore and aft is set up correctly. Or if you have a table, and we can see whether or not tengok align ke tidak. So this is pretty aligned lah, this fore and aft. So I hope the landmarks that I mentioned just now will be able to give you a guide to follow when you're setting up your cleats. Don't change your cleats before an important event, a long ride or something like that, because if you change your cleats before a 4-5 hour ride, mana tahu kan, the position might not be suitable for us. So jadi problem lah. So change it and then go out for a quick spin, see how does it feel before you lock it in and really secure that position. So I hope this 3 episode has brought value to you, and if it has, leave a like down below, and of course subscribe to this channel for more cycling related tips and tricks.